Hey everyone. So it was about 2.5 weeks ago that I got let go from my previous job where I had, in one form or another, been working for that company for about 27 years. So, long time. I was a software engineer for them. And uh, so it's been kind of a hard journey the last 2.5 weeks. And one of the things that I have been running into some issue with is just filing for unemployment. And uh, I've attempted to do that about 3 times now. One was last night, and the unemployment benefit site was offline for routine maintenance. But the other 2 times, as I've done it, it's really brought up uh, some some stuff for me. And so I've got a background as well, not only in the IT field, but also in personal development. And so, uh, what I wanted to go over is what I'm going to do right now. As I just started to go down to where my computer is and log on to the unemployment website and finish the process. And um, I kind of got stuck doing that. Like some stuff came up for me, and so I've been avoiding it basically. So, and this is kind of one of the things that can come up is as we're going through this process is is a variety of emotions and other mental blocks. Uh, and so one of the tools that I'm going to use right now is called emotion code. And essentially, the way that it works is um, this former chiropractor, Dr. Brad, I think his last name is Nelson. He created this system where he started doing, I think it was in the 90s, 80s, or 90s. As he was working as a chiropractor, he started having intuitions about things to do with people that were outside of the traditional chiropractic, just, adjustments and things like that. And a lot of it had to do with working with emotions. And so he published this book about 20 years ago, something like that, called The Emotion Code. And then he's recently come out with a couple of other books that expand that process significantly into the body code. And another book that he came out with was the heart code. So anyway, uh, this isn't really as that much of a plug for him as it is to give you an idea of this of the emotion code as a tool to that I'm using personally right now to work through some of the things that I'm dealing with. This kind of uh, avoidance, this approach avoidance, like I consciously know I need to do it, and yet I somehow get stuck trying to do that. Seems stupid. I mean, it's only in my best interest to get the unemployment benefits until I get another decent source of income. And yet I'm kind of stuck. So, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just briefly kind of describe, and then um, I'll I'll do the process, and then because I need two cameras, I'm using my phone and the. You know what? I just realized I do have a way. I have the book, so I'll keep filming and I'll use the book and I'll let you kind of see what it's like to do the emotion code process as I go through it to clear some of the blocks. And then I'll follow up and let you know how it worked. Did it clear enough that I'm able to actually go down and get the application plugged in? So, and I do this as an example of, first off, to just be 100% authentic, because this is a tough time for many of us. I can tell I'm just getting a little emotional about it myself. Losing a job is hard. Finding a new job right now in the IT industry is harder than I think it's ever been. There's more competition with AI and everything. There's less demand. So anyway, so I'm going to grab the book, which I have right here. I'm going to put you guys on pause just for a second. All right, I have the book here, The Emotion Code. So I'm going to quickly describe the process that's in it. The process is essentially uses muscle testing, and you find a you start off with something that you want to address, or you can just address generally. And Dr. Brad is utilizing this chart of emotions, and I'm going to flip it here so you can see this chart of emotions, emotion code chart, which as you look at it, you'll notice that there's 2 columns and 6 rows, column A and column B, and rows 1 through 6. And each of the cells in those columns have 5 different possible emotions. So that's 6 rows, 2 columns is 12 cells. Each of the cells has 5 emotions. So there's a total of 60 possible emotions that are in here. And according to Dr. Brad and the person, and I'll try and find out who the actual author of this chart is, this is a good map. Maybe all these words don't, like there's many more, hundreds more words for emotions, but this map is a good model that allows us to clear out almost everything, that all of the emotions. And so these are like kind of the scope or range of negative or emotions that could be causing a negative impact. And so the idea is that these are also trapped emotions. As opposed to just a normal emotion, we feel it, we move through it, we move on, and the emotion goes sort of like a wave in the ocean, or as a ball bounces, it goes up, it goes down. And when it's up is when we notice it, and then eventually, it bounces around a few times and then stops bouncing, and the energy from the ball is not there until it's dropped again or thrown again. So with this chart, we're going to use muscle testing, and there's many ways to do muscle testing. You could also do it other ways that he doesn't really talk about too much. You could use a pendulum. You could use just sort of following which one's like calls to you, which one indicates or speaks to you, which one do you feel the strongest. You could do something like that. There's a variety of ways you could approach this, not all of which are covered in his book, The Emotion Code. But essentially what you do, the way that he describes it, is so I'm going to use the question, is there a trapped emotion that's preventing me from finishing my unemployment claim? Excuse me. And then I'm going to use muscle testing to see if there is or not. If there is, then I'm going to do some more muscle testing to further identify it. I'm going to ask the question, is the trapped emotion in column A? And then I'm going to ask if it's not, I'm going to ask if it's in column B. And that's going to start to narrow it down by half. Then we've got 30 left. And then we're going to say whichever column it's in. Then the next thing is we're going to check, is it in an odd row or an even row? And then if it's in an odd row, obviously we're going to check, is it row 1, 3, or 5? Or if it's an even row, then is it row 2, row 4, or row 6? So that will narrow it down to, out of the 60 possible emotions in this chart, that'll narrow it down to 5. And then we check each of those 5. For instance, let's say it was column B, row 3. So that leaves the 5 emotions of confusion, defensiveness, grief, self abuse, stubbornness. And I suspect it might be in there because my attention was strongly drawn to that. So then we would go through and check until we get a yes, each of those. Is it confusion? Is it defensiveness? Is it grief? Is it self abuse? Is it stubbornness? And then once we get a yes, when one of those, we get a muscle test of strong or yes, then we clear the emotion. And that's essentially using one of the acupuncture meridians that it starts actually at the top of the lip and goes up over the head and down the back to the base of the spine. However, we don't need to do the whole meridian. We can just go over the top of our head down to the back of our head as far as we can reach down the back of the neck. And with our hand, or we could also use a magnet. And in the emotion code and in the body code books and so forth, it says you don't have to use a magnet, that you can, that you're working with just your hand is fine, but it's sort of encouraged without being too strongly encouraged to use a magnet. So but I'm probably just going to use my hand today. And so you swipe your hand starting from your forehead over the top of your head. I'm going to flip the camera around here, down the back of your head to your neck. And so what that looks like, it's fairly simple, right? You just kind of go like this. And as you do, you say the word or the phrase, you say release to yourself. You could say it out loud. You don't have to. When you have the intention, I find it's easiest for me to have the intention by saying the words. So I noticed my attention got a little stuck, even though I didn't actually do the muscle testing yet. My attention got a little stuck on the word stubbornness. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go ahead and release stubbornness. It's no harm if you try to release one that isn't there, or if you release the wrong one, it's still one that can use to be released. So I'm just going to take the palm of my hand, go over the top of my head like this 3 times as I say, release stubbornness, release stubbornness, release stubbornness. And I don't know if you saw, there was a shift. I felt a shift in my breathing. I also felt a shift in my abdomen, like sort of like when you feel an emotion in your abdomen, I felt a little shift there in a positive way. And it's still kind of settling out. And that was just as kind of a spontaneous thing as I was thinking about that. You know what? I think even that, without doing the full muscle testing, freed me up enough. So I'm going to go do that, and I'll follow up in the next video, let you know how this went, if I needed to do any more clearing. And so that's a really good tool, the emotion code that you can use. I encourage you to get the book, and the essence of it is what I described. So there's also, if you do a search for the emotion code.pdf, there's stuff that'll come up, both directly from Dr. Brad's company and other people that have put stuff out there. I haven't put anything out there, but I know they're out there from previous searches. Even though I own the book, I also did it's handy to have a separate copy that you can print out or just use on your screen or whatever. There's also an app that you can get, the Body Code app, which is available for both iPhones and Android, and the emotion code chart, and it guides you through it a little more clearly, basically the exact same process that I talked through, but it guides you through it. And so you don't have to keep track of where you are. It just tells you what the next step is, which is what I was going to do for this video. And then I decided to do it a little more real time. But I encourage you to get that app. For free, it has the emotion code process. If you want to try out the body code uh, fuller process that has many more aspects to it, they give you a free 1 month trial. And then after that, I think it's around $30 a month. So God bless. Wish you all the best. And I'll see you in the next video.